Following is the story of male to female transitioner who is experiencing deep regret, lots of pain and self-cancellation thoughts after sex change surgery in Portugal. Viewer and listener discretion is advised.
Good morning, everyone. First of all, throwaway account for obvious privacy concerns and whatnot. 3 months ago, I started this dream, more like nightmarish hell, that is sex reassignment surgery and its recovery. Dilating as hell, everything is sensitive or sore. My fucking leg movements are, while better than before, still pretty limited. I feel constant stinging and burning sensations pretty much around the clock in my crotch area. This is probably the most suicidal I've ever been since before I actually transitioned. This vaginal canal, which is actually a fucking open wound, has given me nothing but grievances, and Jesus fuck am I tired of it. I've actually been considering asking my surgeon whether or not it's possible to just close this pseudo-vaginal canal or just get rid of it altogether. I wish somebody had told me even just a third of what hell ride this was going to be, but nobody didn't. And now I'm stuck with this nightmare. I'm pretty much considering just stopping dilation. The canal will shrink, so fucking what? Maintaining it is pretty much keeping my whole fucking life prisoner of this thing. While I didn't like what I had before, at all, it still allowed me freedom. Sure, there were some things I had to account for and have extra carefulness. For comparison, this shit is like going from parole straight into solitary confinement. Anyway, is having the surgeon close this fucking piece of shit canal even an option? Or is it just easier to stop dilating and let this fuck nugget close on its own? Thanks in advance.
Here are some of the responses to the post. The link to the original post will be pinned in the comment section down below.
I've had sex change surgery, and I can assure you this is not normal. Recovery isn't a cakewalk, but 24/7 burning and stinging is highly abnormal. It sounds like you have some complications going on. Have you had a follow-up with an ob-gyn? Perhaps a second course of antibiotics in case of infection? Try dousing with betadine. Try doing a few sitz baths, and see if your doc can prescribe you a lidocaine, numbing cream for dilation. Again, this 100% isn't a normal recovery timeline. You should not be in this much pain. Something is wrong.
In terms of feeling constant stinging and burning sensations pretty much around the clock in your crotch area, have you talked to a doctor about this? It sounds a little like it could be irritated or infected in some way by something, so that could be worth getting checked if you can.
Yes, it's been treated and confirmed to be gone. Still getting tingling and stinging.
Have you tried something like pseudocreme? I'm finding it super useful and soothing.
Everyone knows sex change surgery is not an easy surgery to get over. It eases in maintenance quite a lot over time. But yes, it sucks in the short to medium term. It's a trade-off, and I hope you can get out of this depression and move forward with it.
2 years post-op here. Stick with it. It's a long process, but it pays off. The random sensations go down. The gory-looking tissue heals. The stitches come out and the scars relax. The constant stream of goop goes away. I thought I'd be on panty liners for me life. Now I never think about them. It was about a year after before things started to feel normal down there. I still dilate about once a week, but it's not bad. It doesn't hurt, and I can do it lying down with my ankle holding the dilator. That leaves my hands to type, play games. Sex took longer than I thought to be comfortable. I tried after about 6 months, and it was tight, sore, and not very fun. It was okay, but more a take it or leave it kind of thing. These days, it's fucking great. It's a huge cost and takes a long time to pay, but the reward is amazing.
To frame your experience, which surgery or rather surgeon did you get?
Dr. Juan Decio Ferreira in Portugal. I actually thought he was pretty solid. He has awards, and everyone I know speaks highly of him. The man is a fucking brute.
Hi. I stopped dilating for 5 years. I was 6 years post-op at the time. I regret the decision every day. I even thought of the same reasons. It's a chore. Who cares if I lose depth, etc. Don't do anything you'll regret later. Your surgeon should have explained recovery and complications prior to operating. Sorry your experience wasn't the best. I hope you can get over your internalized phobia too.
Ah ha 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 ha. All my doctors made me think that recovery would only take a few months. No exceptions.
Despite your surgeon saying this, you really should have done research as well. Doctors can be wrong. My gynecologist told me I need to go on estrogen after my hysterectomy and didn't understand that staying on testosterone as a trans man is absolutely fine. He was dumb as shit when it came to trans male issues. Don't take your doctor's advice as gospel. Do your research.
I have a friend that spent years battling her regret over sex change surgery. She has been barred from many forums and blasted by others because she made sure that her voice of dissent over the requirement of sex change surgery for transition. Now, 4 years later, she still struggles, but finally is starting to be okay with her new parts. Plus, orgasms are finally happening. That was her biggest woe. She couldn't orgasm. So keep your head up, breathe, and keep moving forward.
Just seen this. I had sex reassignment surgery a year ago, got an excellent result and can orgasm easily. But I still regret it. Just goes to show, I guess. My gender identity just flipped to male. I don't feel female at all, and I miss the old sexual interactions with my girlfriend. My partner left me shortly after I had sex change surgery to care for her mother. I think that triggered it all off.
Have you seen the surgeon doctor to express these concerns with the vaginal canal? Are they aware of them?
Yes. Painfully aware of the troubles I've been having. He mostly just tells me to wait, as if that's not what I've been doing these past months.
It can take a long time to heal. It takes people a few years to heal completely just from chest surgery. Sex change surgery is something that's very invasive and requires a lot of upkeep to make sure it stays healthy and tries to heal. You should have been prepared for that. It's only been 3 months. That is a very short time for it to have healed completely. Usually, it's around the 1-year mark that everything is starting to be well and good. How is your immune system with healing and such usually?
1 fucking year? Jesus fucking Christ. As far as I know, my immune system and healing is average.
Yeah. A lot of people report most of the healing is done with by the 1-year mark, and you will still have to dilate for life, or have sex once or twice a week. If you have the money, have a look into some Manuka honey. It's supposed to help incredibly with one's immune system. A couple of teaspoons of that a day is what I commonly see.
Oh gosh, I'm having sex reassignment surgery in 2.5 months, and I'm already panicking.
You can ask for medications at the hospital to calm you down. Might be a good idea. You'd probably regret it if you cancelled at the last minute.
Just hang in there, it get easier over time, physically easier, not that you would get used to it, and you would barely need the dilation afterwards, as far as I've read.
Different doctors recommend different schedules, but roughly. From 3 to 4 times per day, initially after some months, step down to 1 to 2 per day, and then eventually, depending on how your body responds to it, you can wean that down to twice a week. So no, it doesn't become unnecessary, but compared to immediate post-op regime, it's a stark contrast.
Notice how weird it is that different gender surgeons list different dilation requirements and schedules for those who have undergone sex reassignment surgery. Hopefully someday World Health Organization will investigate this and give us answers. What data were these different dilation schedules based on?
And this is why I'm keeping my wiener.
The rate of regret is pretty low. More power to you, I guess.
Does anybody finds it very weird how transgender community pushes people into radical, painful, risky surgeries?
Is the pain more painful than having a penis down there? For me, I doubt so, no matter how painful it is. It's not as painful as having a penis gives me.
Yes, it definitely is. Having a penis was manageable. This isn't.
I personally would rather have just a flat space than what sex change surgeons have to offer today. Dilation, maintenance, hairballs, pain, and complications have convinced me not to do it. And the fact that it doesn't bring me any closer to being a woman. I respect any choice you make up, and appreciate you sharing your story because it is not all sunshine and rainbows after surgery, even after months.
Is this even an option? I've thought about that myself too as an asexual person, if that would be possible.
Honestly, if I could get this pseudo-canal to disappear, that would be great.
The first 3 months are absolutely brutal. It's going to ease up over time. But at first, when you're on 2 or 3 times a day dilation schedule, it's exhausting and painful and hellish and terrible. And you're dealing with post-op depression because your body's taken a beating and you've been suffering a while. It'll ease up. You're through the worst of it.
Well, are you familiar with that sex change regret website? Yes, it's a load of fear-mongering transphobia. However, there is one story that stands out in my memory. One of the women who regretted her SRS talks about the immense amount of pain she felt after her surgery. How she instantly regretted it and knew that she made the wrong choice. I use this story to help me remember that this is not a game. This is not something that should be taken lightly. And I'll keep this story in mind when, if I finally do get sex change surgery, why am I telling you this? Well, it's because there are stories of regret out there, but the trans community just disregards them as untrue or irrelevant. Sure, we shouldn't put too much stock in these stories, but we shouldn't act like they don't exist either. It can obviously have negative consequences. People should be informed about stuff like this, even if bigots use them inappropriately.
One has to be careful. A lot of pain after surgery describes any sort of major surgery, and post-surgical depression is common after all sorts of major procedures. I'm awaiting my sex change surgery, and I'll be shocked if I don't pass through some, "Oh my God, what have I done?" time in the early post-op period. If this is not someone who felt the same way after recovery, then I would not consider it a meaningful case of regret. If a few months of discomfort are enough to dissuade someone from sex change surgery, then I would fully encourage that person to pass on it. For me and many others, though, it's either that or a lifetime of discomfort without it. Some people do end up with poor surgical outcomes. That is unavoidable. Again, sex change surgery is hardly the only surgery without a 100% success rate. It's something to be considered. You're very unlikely to have a truly catastrophic outcome, but there's no guarantee you'll come out with a vagina you're happy with. If you can be content without the surgery, then it's no doubt the safer choice not to get it.
If your vagina is still a wound after a few weeks, then you should definitely see a doctor as something is wrong with your body. It should eventually heal.
It takes 3 months for it not to be considered an open wound, and you should take special care during the first 3 months to avoid infections because of that, even though it might look and seem pretty good by then. That's why you need to be very clean and not go sitting in public spas till after 3 months. You will still have stitches after a few weeks. That should be indication enough. While I agree it's important people see that sex change surgery isn't all rainbows with a 2 weeks recovery, aspects of it can be considered an open wound. In the first 3 months, and caution should be taken, it's all lined with grafts and is not an open wound. If it was, you would constantly be getting infections and probably die from it.
The original poster has since vanished from Reddit. Hopefully, this person found strength to live on after what has been done to their genitals. Just a reminder, this video simply voices over the Reddit post and some of the responses and is not meant to be used as medical advice. If you believe you have been harmed by medical transition or want to help those who have been harmed, you can check out some links in the description of this channel. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Please, don't forget to subscribe, share, and like to raise awareness and to help me out. These stories are mentally challenging for me to cover, so I made the following song to help me get through the day. Hope it helps someone out there as well. Link to the full song will be in the description of the video. It will be on Spotify in a few days as well.
I will make it, no matter what it takes. I will make it, I will make it. With or without you, I will make it, I will make it. No matter how hard it gets, I will make it. No matter how dark it gets, I will